Okay, Brittany, we have to talk special forces. My
Hmm.
girl, okay, you quit the first episode.
I know.
Walk me through that because I know knowing you, that was not an easy decision for you to make.
It was definitely not an easy decision. My whole thing was like, I do not want to be the first person to leave. I do not, I was like really committed. I really wanted to try my hardest. And I feel like I did a lot of things that I would have never done before. I was completely out of my comfort zone. And, that's good. Heights terrify me. And I conquered one of my biggest fears. I jumped out of a helicopter. I rappelled down. Even though I dangled for a minute, it wasn't very graceful, but I still did it. And I was very proud of myself for that because I don't think people understand when something is your biggest fear and you have to do it, like you feel so proud of yourself afterwards, no matter what,
Mm.
other people think. Like I was so proud of myself. I think for me leaving, I went into this in a very tough time of my life. I wasn't completely physically prepared. I had never been away from my son that long. And also, after coming out of a toxic relationship, I thought I would be able to handle like the comments and, the DS, they're doing their job. They're supposed to yell at you. They're supposed to do this. And I watched it and I knew that it wasn't something that I didn't think was going to happen. But I also didn't realize how much that would trigger me. I thought like 100% I would come into this and I'm prepared. I probably have it better than everybody else because I'm used to, toxic things and different stuff like that. But instead of motivating me, it really like triggered me. So like whenever they were screaming like you're weak or you're that, I was more like I know I am. I know I am. And it kind of did like a reverse effect on me than I expected it to, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense. So I'm
Yeah.
very glad that then you left that situation because that's
Yeah.
not serving you. That wasn't
Yeah.
serving you then.
Yeah. I think even though I left early, a lot of people don't realize I was in Morocco for 7 days before I even got to the course. So I was prepping myself up. I was trying and, learning and doing all these like safety precautions and stuff because that you have to do because this is a very risky show.
Right.
And yeah, so I was there for a lot longer than people know.
What was the moment or when was the moment that you decided you're like, I'm out? Was there like one specific moment?
I think the whole day was very hard. And as it went on, it's not like a show I've ever been on before. It's very
Right.
raw. It's very like you're not getting like breaks in between or doing this or doing that. Like it's back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And, it was terrifying from the beginning. If I having the bag over my head and being in the heat and doing all that stuff. And I was already shaking like a leaf. And then, going into the heights and doing that and then doing the challenge where we had to like carry all this stuff. I just like felt like I didn't have anything else to give.
Mm.
And I felt like I was letting my team down. And I'm a people pleaser and such like that type of person where I felt like I was like holding them back instead of like helping them. And it really was getting to me that I wasn't like adding to it. And I just was like, this isn't for me. I honestly felt like my legs could not move anymore. Whenever we had to run back from the base or from the,
Right.
the mountain to the base, I, I just like, there's no possible way I could have ran another mile. Like it was just, I just didn't feel like I was capable of it. So, for me, all the stuff that was added up together, missing my son, being triggered by certain things,
Mm.
feeling like I let my team down and feeling like a lot of pressure and stuff like that. I felt like the underdog coming in and I didn't want to let anybody down. But at the same time, I was like, I can't do this. It's just not for me.
And I respect that. And I respect that you making that decision for yourself,
Yeah.
so I completely and utterly respect that. You said, you felt triggered. We saw in the first episode that Jax made a comment to you saying that you probably wouldn't last a day. Then what
Yeah.
was his reaction to you leaving after a day?
He just kind of like laughed and was like I didn't even let him know that I had already left. I just like showed up to the house because the flight was like a whole day as well. So I didn't even want to give him that satisfaction that I had left, which sucks. Um, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? Like he says he wants to do it so hard. Like I would love to see him try. Like, you know, it sucks because it kind of put it in the back of my mind, like, okay, maybe I'm not going to be able to do that. Like, it's a very the special forces is very much about your mindset.
Right.
And I think in the time of my life and dealing with all the other stuff that I was going through and him writing me those messages and everything else, like it did not help me at all. It did not help me at all.
Well, I'm glad you're past that though, because we have
Yeah.
seen you get your, like we talked last time, you got your sparkle back. So you tried it and it's like, you know what? You gave it your best shot and whatever.
Yeah.
Like now you're
Yeah.
back home, you know?
Yeah, I feel so much better. Again, this was recorded months ago. I was in a weird spot in my life at that time. But right now I'm feeling great. I'm happy. I've been getting like so much support about the show and also a lot of hate from the show. Like, oh, you didn't try, you didn't do this. I'm like, I tried, guys. I tried. Like, come on. Let me see you try.
I was about to say, I could not imagine doing that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No, I could
It's
not do it. I could not do it. I would imagine though that the new boyfriend has been supporting you during all of this.
yeah, he's very supportive. We just like kind of like laugh about it because of I feel like almost every day there's something random about me in the news or like people saying something mean about me. It's like it's something that he is having to realize like this is
Mm.
part of my life and my lifestyle. So he's extremely supportive and we just are like, I didn't do great, but I tried and, you know, I'll move on from here and learn from it. It was still an amazing experience. Even though I didn't last very long, I'm so grateful I did it. So grateful I did it.
I'm so glad. Because what do you think is like the biggest thing you learned about yourself? Because you were there 7 days, you were away from cruise. I mean, and
Yeah.
you were saying it was during a tough point of your life.
I think it's just that I did put myself out there. I got out of my comfort zone. I tried something a lot of people doubted me for. And even if I didn't make it to the end, I still freaking tried. I am proud of myself for that. I jumped out of a helicopter, which is my
Right.
biggest fear in life. Heights are my biggest fear in life. And I did that. I might have cried and prayed before I did it, but I did it.
As I would too, obviously. I would be crying the whole time. That's why it's so
Yeah,
funny for people to be like hating on you. It's like, no, you go and do this. Like,
exactly.
it seems crazy. But Brittany, tell me though, what was harder, filming the Valley reunion or Special Forces?
Honestly, the Valley reunion was much harder. And physically, nothing will ever compare to special forces. Let's be real. But the Valley is my everyday real life. And I was going through so much
Yeah.
and went through a lot on national TV and then had to sit across from somebody who did a lot of things to me and try to stand my ground and, be in the same room with somebody for longer than I had been in months and months and months. And I think that will always be more difficult, which
Is
is crazy
this,
to say.
which I know. One last thing, and then I know we need to wrap up, but is this season a little bit better now with him gone?
I can't talk about the season, but I will say that I am just personally in such a better place in my
Yeah.
life. Like I have grown so much, so much. And I just feel so much happier now.
I
And
love
I'm
it.
excited for that.
I love it. Well, you should be proud of yourself for this. Like I said, I would never have done
Thank
this. So
you.
even if you did it for the 7 days, like be proud of yourself.
Thank you. I am proud. I am proud. No matter what anybody says, I'm proud. And I'm very thankful I did it and that they asked me to do that because it's something I never imagined I would do in my life, So it's so cool. It's such a
It,
cool experience.